The title today is Making Room for What's Possible. And the funny thing that came to me, okay, I learned to cook a long time ago just by watching the Food Network. And back then, that was the only place you could find Rachel Ray. Anybody know who Rachel Ray is? I think that she's kind of like, she has her own show now, so everybody kind of knows who she is. But I thought, like, I wanted to be just like her. And if you remember, she turns around to that fridge, and then she stacks like everything. She's got like stuff in her arm and stuff on her fingers, and she's got stuff here and stuff here, and she somehow like carries all this stuff. She's got bowls stacked on top of bottles and boxes and all kinds of things, and she always makes it to the counter in one trip. And all the things I learned in cooking, that was the thing I wanted to be able to do the most. Was like, I thought it was like some type of superhero power that she has to like take all this stuff and make it. I'm like, can I do that with my groceries? Like, is there any way I can make it in just one trip? And so here I am at my refrigerator thinking, oh yeah, I can make it in one. So, I've got stuff stuck here and stuff stuck there, and then I've still got things over there, and then like I can't reach because I don't have an arm to reach with. And I'm thinking, wait a second, I'm never going to be able to do that. It's just, not my skill set. Maybe I need to take some type of acrobatic classes and get a little bit more coordinated. And something starts sliding out. I got things dropping. Thank goodness I don't think I ever broke anything glass while I was doing it. However, I kind of realized, talking about making room, maybe it's not the efficiency and not the ability to do it. Maybe I just didn't yet have the capacity for it. Maybe I just needed a little bit more room and a little bit more arm space. Maybe my arms are not quite as long as Rachel's, I'm not sure. But think about this metaphysically. What if all of those things you were taking out of the metaphysical refrigerator, things like the schedule, what things I need to get done, things I didn't get done yesterday, these people I need to call, relationship issues, I'm having an argument with this person, I cannot believe that other person did this, things I'm looking to do, goals I have that I feel like I might never reach. I start piling all of these things, these metaphysical groceries, these metaphysical ingredients for my dinner. I start piling family stuff and my stuff and trying to take care of the world because I watch the news, and then, how should I pray? I'm taking so much on, and then I wonder why I feel overwhelmed. Am I the only person that does try to juggle all of the things, just like Rachel Ray? And so maybe the question is more, not so much, can I carry more? Maybe the question is, have I made room to receive what's trying to come to me? Have I made room for the good instead of trying to fix it and put it all together and organize it and make it work? Have I actually made room in all of that stuff in my arms for what Spirit is trying to send to me? Like the one thing I'm really supposed to be doing, am I listening to guidance? And so I have a little story to tell you today from 2 Kings 4:1-7. This is a metaphysical story about a widow and some oil. And it really has a lot to do with how we manifest things in our lives. So if you're into that, if you're into maybe just wanting a little bit more peace in that big armful of stuff, trying to figure out how am I going to get peace in this? How am I going to get better health conditions? How am I going to get a better relationship? Maybe it's prosperity and more money. It's about making room. And so there's a widow that comes to the prophet Elijah, and her husband has just died. And she's in a lot of debt. And her creditors had come to her door, and they said, "We need your money now." She said, "My husband has died." They said, "You don't get the money. We're going to come back. We're going to take your sons as slaves in payment for the debt that you owe." And she comes to Elisha saying, what am I supposed to do? I have nothing. He was the source of everything. And it is all gone. What am I supposed to do? And he asked her an interesting question. He says, "What do you have in your house?" And she says, nothing. Oh, well, I have a little jar of oil, and that's all that I have left. And Elisha tells her, okay, what I want you to do is go to all your neighbors, go as far as you can. You and your sons go and you gather as many empty vessels as you can, not just a few. And he says that specifically, not just a few. Gather as many as you can bring and put them into your house. Make sure that they're empty. And so that's exactly what she does. She goes out with her sons, and they gather a whole bunch of jugs and different vessels, things that they could fill, and they put them in there. And she says, okay, now what do I do? And he says, I want you to go inside, shut the door, just you and your sons, shut out everything else, and I want you to take the oil, and I want you to start pouring. So she went into the house with her sons. They closed the door, and she asked one son, can you hand me the oil, and let's start. And she took that little jar and filled a great big vessel. And then she says to her sons, hand me another one. And she fills another one. And then she says, I need another one. It's coming faster and faster. So she's got both of her sons, one on each side, because she almost can't pour fast enough. And it keeps going until she says, I need another one. And they say, Mother, there is no more. And the oil stops flowing. And Elisha tells her, okay, now that you have all of this, I want you to sell enough, go to the marketplace, and sell off everything that you can sell, pay your debt, and live on the rest. And that's exactly what she did. So if we go to the first slide, in the first step, this is about making room. So in the first step, she's making room. So when we talk about, we're going to walk through this story today. I'm going to summarize here, and then we're going to walk through it step by step metaphysically. I want you to kind of think of something that you are working on building capacity for, something you need a little room for. I've had a lot of things in my life I've done this with. Currently, I'm working on being able to take all of the good-heartedness and peace that I have and be able to offer that to someone else. And I want to do it in real time, not just during meditation. I want to do it in every situation. Even with that, I teach middle school. So the 12-year-old in front of me who is going off and being crazy, I want to offer just as much love and compassion to that person as I do to any other person. And so what I realize is, just like the widow at the beginning, my faith, my capacity, my ability to do that was small. It's not that I didn't have any, it's here. But it's really like this, when I need this. Now, the capacity is already there, right? When I close the ball, do I have access to it? No. Okay. So what I'm looking for, the peace that I'm looking for, the ability to be with people, to give love, to have good health, to have abundance and all the prosperity I want. It's here. But if I'm living like this, then I'm not able to experience it. So the first step is to make more room. And the second step, we go to the next slide. We get to a space where we can listen to guidance. So in order to make full use of our capacity, we have to hear the guidance. So she goes to Elisha, and Elisha stands for our higher self. It's the highest version that is most sourced that we can get to. It is, you might call it the Buddha nature, the Jesus nature, the Christ, the I am. So Elisha in the story, giving her divine guidance, is just like us going into prayer or meditation and listening. We have to be open enough to listen. And then in the next step, we go to the next slide. Once we are able to be open enough to receive, she's receiving the oil, we have to pour it forth. So we receive divine guidance and we pour it forth. We use things like affirmations to make sure that we are solidifying that. And then in the last phase, we use it. This is principle number 5. We don't just pray and meditate. We go out and we live it. So she is going to use everything that she got in her capacity. She's going to use this, and now she has money to give. She has faith to give. She has love to give. The oil she's giving out is not just oil, see. The oil stands for whatever we feel like we need in God. It is everything, because we get everything according to unity principles. We can never truly get anything outside of ourselves. It all comes from inside. It all comes from that source inside. And so that when we open to it, not only do we have it, but we can let it flow. We can give it to others. So metaphysically, this is a story about allowing our good and then radiating it to others, just like we pray in our affirmation for our church every week. We don't just affirm what we have, we radiate it to others, and that allows us to receive more as the flow. Kathy always talks about the water spigot, right? That we tap into source, and then we have to make sure that we start closing it. We need to make sure that it stays open. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's go back. We go to the next slide. Let's go back to that first step. So in the first, yep, you can go back. There you go. In the first step, we make room. So what was the first thing? The first thing, she was overwhelmed, right? The widow was overwhelmed. Can you imagine? I imagine this a little bit more clearly because my dad passed not long ago, and my mother is in that state. And she didn't even have a credit card in her name. Everything was my dad's. Everything was in my dad's name. She had absolutely nothing with her name on it that was hers. Can you imagine living in a time where women weren't allowed to have anything, that their entire world was through the man and he's gone? And so now, represents a time in your life where you feel completely separate. The widow consciousness is when you are feeling separated from God. You are feeling separated from your good, and you're feeling separate from divine flow, and you feel empty. You feel like there's no hope. So maybe for you that's a health challenge. It could be in a relationship with a relationship issue. And the first thing that we do is turn inward. So it's an inside job. She goes to Elisha, and Elisha is the higher power. And the second step, so after she's made room, on the next slide, I listen. So the very first thing she does is gather the vessels. So now she has all the vessels, right? She's made room for her good to flow to her, and she's got many, many pots. And I can imagine large vases that are probably, I always imagine like ceramic vases that she has everywhere. So we listen, we turn and we listen, and then we need to make a little space. So what does that look like when we're gathering our vessels? We're listening to guidance, and just like she did to Elisha, and it could look kind of strange. It could be prayer and meditation, but it could also just giving space to something. It could be, for example, what if I just made a vessel for what I want? I can make some time to exercise if I'm looking for better health, some time for self-care in my day, for taking some downtime and just being with me. I could, maybe if it's money, I could make a journal where I keep all of my ledgers and I make a budget. It could be a boundary on your time. I have those people in my life that I just have to limit the phone calls and limit how much I talk to them, because they are going to bring my energy level down. And so we gather the vessels and we make room. All you need is a little bit, and we can appreciate that. For example, the daily word today says, I appreciate. The more I give thanks for that I have, the more blessings I will discover. Isn't that what she did? She gave blessing, she had more, and she got more. She had more, and she got more. So when we recognize what we have, she recognized she had many things. She recognized, the more she recognized she had the oil, what happened? The more oil she got. And so it even tells us in the daily word that I can realize how abundantly blessed I am when I remember all the good that God is, and then more good is revealed to me. So that might just be what you need to make more room in your vessel, is just making a little time to acknowledge what you want. What is your oil? What do you have a little bit of? Jesus said all you need is faith the size of a mustard seed. And then the appreciation of that can go on. For me, I've been working a lot recently with being with people, like I said. And so I can take one instance where I reached out to someone and I texted them my appreciation for them. I sent an email to thank somebody. I sent a letter just to check up on somebody and tell them that I was thinking about them. I reached out to somebody at the bank and didn't just make a transaction. I had a conversation. I blessed them in their day. We had a little fun and made some jokes. Can you imagine how that might have helped somebody in their day? And then I can expand fully, and then how has that helped me? Not only do I have all of this space for divine ideas, for divine love to flow into, it gives me something that I can physically give. So I've been making that space to be with other people in a different way. Now, making that space is one thing. Now that I have the space, I'm going to go inside and listen. He told her, shut the door. And that's my prayer and meditation time. I shut the door, and I experience this love. So now I'm going to go sit with it. I'll only do this for a second because you won't be able to see me. I sit with it, and I allow myself to feel it. I feel wonderful, all of this that I did. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just saying, this makes me feel good. This is God in me. God is in me and works through me in all of these ways that I did this today. And if God is in this and in me, then what else is possible? I'm listening. And then the wisdom can come up and through this and guide me to keep going. So in meditation, I can quiet myself, experience the things that I know that I am. Even if I haven't done this in my day, I know that God is love, so I can feel love right now. I know that God is wisdom, so I can listen for wisdom right now. And then after I listen, I get that clear guidance, and Elijah said that I'm going to go and do something with it. So now I'm going to do more with it. I'm not just going to let this be the good of that day. That was a wonderful day that I did all those things. I'm going to take it, I'm going to use it. So on the next slide, I receive, and the oil flows where there is room. So as long as I continue to make room, and as long as I now do something with it, I'm supposed to go pay off my debts, right? What does that mean metaphysically? So I've already created the space, and I've received, and I was a good listener, and I experienced the love of God in me and all of the things I was looking for. So whatever that was for you, whatever your oil was, whatever I've experienced, I'm going to pay off my debt. What does that mean? Well, I probably had a debt that I thought I needed to be doing all these things. That instantly takes it to here. Man, I didn't have enough energy, and I should have called her. I know she's got that surgery coming up, and I wanted to text her and let her know that I was praying for her, and I didn't do it. I wanted to call my mom, and I didn't call her. I wanted to help my husband out with that thing, and I just didn't have, I didn't do that. It immediately does this, right? So instead, I'm going to pay off that debt. All of those things weigh us down. It's like carrying a heavy backpack full of stuff. So I've got all of this now, and I'm going to make sure that I continue to feel it, that I know that is not me, that I am love, and I am meant to give it. And the only reason I feel bad isn't because I'm ashamed because I should have done it. I feel bad because I'm constricted like this, and I'm not doing it. Has nothing to do with the fact that I should have done it. It's that I'm not like this. Think about it when you're like this and you're all curved up. And then think about it when you open up your chest and you breathe. Constricted when you're not letting it flow. And open when you're letting it flow. So if you want to feel peace in meditation, and then be it in the world. We have to practice what it is. So if you go to the next slide, we pay the debt, we live on the rest. We live the truth that we know. And so after that day of meditating on that, what am I going to do now? I'm not done yet. I'm going to keep a journal, like a gratitude journal, of how thankful I am every single time I have an interaction with somebody, because I'm trying to expand myself. I don't want to stay cut in this little corner. I've been in a hovel for a long time. I feel like I want to expand. I want to be with people. So every time I do what feels good, I'm going to add it to a little list of like, I talked to that person. I stopped and did that today. And I'm not going to feel bad about things I didn't get to. I'm going to put it on another list of ideas. Ideas for what I could do tomorrow or what I could do next week. And I'm going to feel and let that go. So I receive and I live it out. I can put stuff into my kitchen so that I can cook better. I can make a budget. I can have the hard conversation. I can take it to a doctor's appointment when I'm worried. Go to a doctor's appointment worried. Go to the doctor's office sourced from the inside, because I can't get from the outside like the widow in the widow's consciousness. I can't get that from the outside. I can only get it when it comes from the inside and builds my capacity. The problem is not that I can't, people tell me this all the time, but it really feels like I don't have enough faith. It really feels like I just need to do something to get more faith. And it does feel that way, because this is where we are. But what this story teaches us, if we just need a little bit more faith, that bill is going to be made, that I'm going to get that job, that relationship's going to come, that I'm going to work through whatever relationship problem that I have going on here, that politics won't be so darn hard like they are now anymore. If I really want to have that happen in my life, I can't do it from here. I've got to grow this. I've got to make room. That's the first thing. The second thing, I'm making sure that I'm turning within and asking for divine guidance. Then I'm going to make sure that I make the space and keep that space open for what I want to see. So this is peace. This is peace for our world. Then I'm going to meditate and pray on this. In small ways and big ways, I'm going to feel it. I'm going to let it pour. Just like the oil, I'm not just going to affirm it. I'm going to let it pour. I'm going to feel it. And then once I have it, I'm not just going to keep it like, oh, I know world peace is just a matter of time. I'm going to go do something. What is something peaceful I can do? Can I offer this peace to someone else? Can I offer it to you in your space? Can I offer it to you? And I'm going to stay open to guidance so I know what that might look like. Maybe it's just reaching out to someone I've never talked to. Maybe it's sending a letter. Maybe it's trying to see and hold compassion for someone on TV talking in a way that is completely opposite of everything I've ever believed. But in the space, I can hold them in the fact that they're in fear just like I am. And they want for their children what I want for my children. They are human like I am, and they make errors like I do. And I can hold me in compassion, and I can hold them in compassion, and I can see what that is with capacity. So today, maybe the question is simply, where do I need a vessel in my life right now? What kind of vessel do you need? Remember that as a science teacher, water will take the shape and the volume of its container. So just like that, that's how our consciousness rocks. It's going to take the shape and the size of our container. And so my urging to you is to ask yourself, what kind of vessel do you need? Where do you need to make more room? And to let that be the change. Our prayer would not be simply, God, give me more. Maybe if you want to ask an asking prayer, maybe you could ask, God, how can I make room to be with this? And then after that, maybe the real question becomes, if it's a feeling, And I'm not sure that I actually believe I can shift from, in that space of making more, I can shift from, okay, I've made space, and now, because of the space, the good is flowing, I can ask a better question, which would be, am I making room to receive it? And how can I do that every day? So go out and find your vessels and fill it. Thank you, everyone.